Every Lincoln's birthday, reminds me of my old girlfriend back in Nebraska, Gina Statutory. Name was Gina Statutory, and she went to Lincoln High, and she was voted Miss Lincoln because every guy in school took a shot at her in the balcony. Who do you like to see? Who's your favorite when you go to motion pictures? Who do you like to see?
I don't know.
Do you know who Gene Kelly is? Fred Astaire?
No, I don't.
Okay. John Travolta? Mickey Mouse. I forget that he's only been in the business 78 days. Have you ever seen this show before?
Well, when I was up vomiting and all that stuff. We like to get him sick early, and then they can kind of go up with the show. You were ill one night, were you? And so to get up, between vomits, you kind of looked in on the show. Good. Okay. That's a first. That's another first here. So do you judge the crowing by the how much they crow, or how many times?
How many times in a half hour? There.
Little gift from his feathered colon there. But maybe he caught the monologue earlier or something. Okay, big deal. How do you get him to crow, Donna?
Well, I usually offer him some corn, and he usually crows. But you know,
when will that happen?
I'm afraid that somebody made book on him and throwed him one way or the other. Maybe he's not going to crow.
Maybe he's not going to crow.
Yeah, that's really what's got me worried.
Wow. That is a bad upset stomach.
Come on and crow for him.
Let me point something out to you, Donna. We didn't bring him 1,800 miles to take a dump on my desk. In other words, as soon as I say you're away from home and your wallet is
I'm coming right in.
he can come in.
Yeah, I'm coming right in.
It's Bobby Quinn, our director, talking.
You're away from home and your wallet is stolen. All your cash is gone. What will you do? What will you do?
I need another pie throw.
You're away from home and your wallet is stolen. All your cash is gone. What will you do? What will you do? You're away from home and your wallet is stolen. All your cash is gone. What will you do? What will you do?
Hi, honey, I left the office early. And have I got a surprise for you? I brought the Colonel home.
I've got a surprise for you. So did I.
What are you doing for Thanksgiving? We're doing the show, of course, tomorrow.
I was going to ask you if you got your turkey yet.
Sure.
Do you, truthfully, do you help Mrs. Carson prepare the turkey?
Just like you helped Mrs. Severinsen prepare the turkey.
No, there is no Mrs. Severinsen.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
There used to be.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
The fact that I
hard for
never
me to
helped
keep
her
track.
stuff her bird was one of our big problems.
I thought that was your problem. Well,
No, you know, I forgot all about that. We've been together so long that I forget sometimes where we are.
In fact, that was one of the things we really fought about.
What? Did you?
I wanted an oyster stuffing in the turkey, and she wanted bread stuffing, and she got bread stuffing and a lot of money.
You mean you used to argue about what you're going to stuff the turkey with?
Yes.
And that was one of the problems.
She's still stuffing the turkey, but not with money.
Well, it's nice to know you have no bitterness. You're not going to celebrate.
I suppose you'll be home with the family having turkey. Just a typical American family.
Look, if you really feel badly now, I feel so terrible that you're going to be alone. Would you
I
like...
didn't say I was going to be alone.
You just say you ain't going to eat no turkey, right?
That's right.
You can come over there. Would you like to come to the house and...
This is the first time you've ever asked me.
Well, you made me feel so guilty.
I mean, you when you ask an employee in front of 15 million people, do you want to come to the house for Thanksgiving dinner? What am I going to say? No. You know what I say? I say, yes, Mr. Carson, I love it.
Can you come?
No.
This is kind of a strange audience. Have you noticed that? How strange is it? Well, before the show tonight, a sweet elderly lady came up to me and says, you know, I'd like to capture you on canvas. And I said, you mean to like to paint my portrait? And she says, no, I've got an army cot in my Winnebago.
I've always hit it off with gorillas.
She doesn't have complete control or coordination yet.
Yeah,
She sees things, but she misses the target once in a while.
Doing pretty good.
You remember the story of Abe and Booba, who weren't getting along?
Oh, yeah.
Well, this is one of the successes, and not Abe and Booba's, but another female on a breeding lung.
He's really cute.
You-
At what age will he be when he's really difficult to handle? It's not going to be long, like maybe tomorrow, the end of the week. He only weighs about 8 or 10 pounds.
She weighs about 10 pounds.
I just said that.
And
And it's a handful. I want to... Does she ever stop moving?
she's fairly active right now. She
No
sleeps
kidding.
a good part of the day.
Animals are so weird. I was camping up in Sequoia National Park, and I'm Jewish, you know, and my friend said, hey, Jewish people don't camp. And we do. We just have it catered. That's all. And so I'm up in the Sequoias. I'm staying at a Sheraton up there, and I'm out in the country, you know, I'm driving my car, and there's a cow on the side of the road. Now, we've all done this because we're mature adults. When you see a cow on the side of the road, you stick your head out the car window and go, moo. Like we expect that cow to be thinking, hey, there's a cow driving that car. How can he afford that?
Envelope number 1.
I will divine the answer to this question sealed in this envelope,
Hermetically sealed.
having never before seen the question.
Funkin' Wagnall's port.
Over 105 in Los Angeles.
Over 105 in Los Angeles.
Under the Reagan plan, how old will you have to be to collect Social Security?
Oh, my old man's a sailor. What do you think about that? He wears a sailor's collar, he wears a sailor's hat, he wears a sailor's raincoat, he wears a sailor's shoes, and every Saturday evening he reads the Sunday news. And someday, if I can, I'm gonna be a sailor, the same as my old man. My old man's an anthropologist. What do you think about that? He wears an anthropologist collar, wears an anthropologist hat, he wears an anthropologist raincoat, he wears anthropologist shoes, and every Saturday evening he reads the anthropologist news. And someday, hey, if I can, I'm gonna be an anthropologist, the same as my old man. Oh, my old man's refrigerator repairman. What do you think about that? He wears refrigerator repairman's collar, wears a refrigerator man's hat, wears a refrigerator repairman's raincoat, he wears refrigerator shoes. Every Saturday morning he reads the refrigerator news. And someday, if I can, I'm gonna be a refrigerator repairman, same as my old man. My old man's a cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker. What do you think about that? I think you better not make a mistake. He wears a cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's collar. He wears a cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's hat. Wears a cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's raincoat. He wears cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's shoes. What about socks? Someday... What? I said, what about socks? Wears cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's socks. What about spats? Wears cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's spats. What kind of... What? Cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's spats. What about a beret? Wears cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's beret. What about strawberries? Wears cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's strawberries. What about a bra? Wears cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker's bra. And your old man's a... And someday, if I can, I'm gonna be a cotton-picking, finger-licking chicken plucker, the same as my old man.
Refrigerator repairman?
All true Americans love the sting of battle. Americans love a winner, will not tolerate a loser. Americans play to win all the time. I wouldn't give a hoot in hell for a person who didn't give it his all to win. Remember, we're a team. We live, eat, sleep as a team. We have the finest food, equipment, the best spirit, the best troops in the world. And I can assure you, you will all do your duty. And I'll be proud to lead you wonderful troops into action, anytime, anywhere. So get out there, troops, and sell those cookies. Make the campaign door to door. God, I love cookies. Move it out.
Now, about these quail droppings, so you wanted to find something to do with them to make some money, so you made them up into kind of jewelry? Was that it?
And I thought, you know, my Yankee friends, they had sold me a bunch of crap a lot of times. I'd buy anything they had to sell.
So, can we show some of these items?
Yes,
because they're rather fascinating, and I'll just ask you about them, and I don't really understand how this works. Is this...
This here, Mr. Carson, is one of the largest droppings that a quail ever dropped. I'm sure it
a Guinness dropping, huh? Yeah.
And her name was Sarah Bell, and she died soon after that.
Now this is the actual thing that came out of her feathered colon, right here.
Spelled it. I mean, you know. But
and you put it inside of a.
Yes, sir.
Of some kind of stone.
Right. It's plastic.
Right.
I thought it was great that, you know, a fella like you would let an old Southern country boy be on the show and sell
Well, this
such
Well,
cheap
these are-
manure. When
No, that's all right. These are-
You get such a high price, so I brought you the biggest one.
Well, that's very nice
And
of
here's
you.
a star, and I'm gonna break the mold. That's a first limited edition, and it's just for you.
A limited
And I'm
edition.
gonna break the molds when I get back to
That's it.
South Carolina. It's a big dropping
Yeah.
for a big star.
Oh, that's very nice. Big dropping for a big star. I don't think I've ever been so moved, Frank. You'll excuse the expression there.
Don't cry, but I'm sincere.
You're kind of the Cartier of caca, aren't you? That's really nice.
You like your camera over there. That's right in the camera. This is Celebi's ape, and it's one of
Celebi's
the
ape.
few animals in the world that's actually worshipped. And that's all right. Come here. Come on, boy. That's right. He's worshipped as an ancestor to human beings. Whoops. Hey, give me that ring.
How long have you had him under control, Jim?
No wonder. I wonder what he's
Just a
doing.
little hand gesture. He's perfectly relaxed there.
I meant to have that.
How you
Guy,
doing?
Try to take that away from him.
What?
Just say you're going to take it away from him.
I'd like the banana.
Just tell him you want the banana.
I want the banana. Okay, I don't want it.
Doc, give me the banana.
Give it here. Give it here.
Come on.
Give me the banana. Give me the banana. This is called
Come here,
Doc?
Doc, come here.
It's called Doc.
Come on. Open. Hey,
Oh, he's
Doc,
frisky,
just a
isn't he?
minute here. Come on. Here's your chair. Hey, Doc. You want to hold it?
Doc, sit down. Sit.
Hey, Doc. Doc, that's all. Come here.
Go, Doc. Easy, Doc.
You'll set this chair on.
Man and his monkey.
You'll set this chair on.
Doc, on your chair.
On your Hey, Doc. That's right. You're fine, man. You're fine.
Right in the mouth. He punched me right in the mouth.
Doc, I don't do that. He's all right. He's just playing. but he-
Playing, Mike.
Why were you late again?
Not Tarzan's fault. Vine controller strike. Tarzan almost have mid-air collision with orangutan. Man, it's a jungle out there.
This place is a mess. You haven't done any of your chores.
Little chore is woman's work. Tarzan only have one chore.
What's that?
Empty hippopotamus litter box.
You call yourself a provider. Will you look at this dump?
Tarzan good provider. Tarzan get job.
You're completely primitive. You're totally unskilled. You have the manners of a baboon and the IQ of an ape. Where could you possibly get a job?
Tarzan already been accepted at post office. As supervisor.
How does something like that exist in the wild, though? It's so little.
Well, they are strictly arboreal, and they will stay high up into the trees.
Right.
And most of the predators would be down. That's its tendency to go to the highest point.
High
it
place,
sees.
yeah.
Right.
Ah.
That's.
Apparently it likes gray.
Look at that. Well, it seems comfortable, I guess. I could wear him on my head and pretend to be Pes Farker. No, he wore a coonskin, didn't he?
That's
Not
right.
a-
Can't go any higher than that. What are you doing with that marmoset on your head? Well, it seems comfortable up there, I guess.
That's right.
Okay, I guess you can probably remove him from there if you want to.
He's just getting comfortable.
Well, I can't sit here the rest. I can't sit and talk to people with an animal on my head. Was he spitting? Was that saliva?
The Evening News with Walter Cronkite.
Good evening, this is Walter Cronkite. For the past 19 years, I've been sitting at this desk reporting all of the major news stories in the world. Tonight is my final broadcast, and I would like to add one personal note. For God's sakes, knock off that tickety sound. 19 years of tickety. Now, my bosses here at the network said, Walter, speak in a deep, ponderous, measured tone. I've been doing that for 12,000 newscasts, and just once I'd like to do it like this.
Mount St. Helens erupted again. Blew the top clean off. But that's all, folks.
Why did you decide to have a museum? May I call you Elizabeth?
Yes, you may.
Why did you decide to have a museum for nuts?
Well, I wish to establish the entity of the nut through art, music, history, and lore. And you'd be surprised, nuts are more than snack treats. They're treats to the soul. In fact, they've been inspiring me to paint nuts and erase the demerit mark off nuts.
Right.
You could go even that far.
You think nuts have been getting
Well,
kind of bad
America
press?
likes nuts well enough.
In a way, right? You're trying to lift the nut from
Exactly.
the... Sure.
Stature
Stature it deserves.
That's right. America likes nuts well enough to name streets after them.
That's right.
And even
Well, of course,
people,
Walnut, that's
you know,
probably the most
Hazel,
popular names, yes.
A child is named Hazel.
Right.
And you'll find during the intercourse that they are valuable.
You probably play a major role there.
I guess you by now know I'm a spokeswoman for the nuts.
Well, you're certainly right there. How many different kinds of... Are we wearing the same outfit? No, your trousers are darker. Coat's about the same. Where'd you get yours?
Oh, it was in my closet at home, John.
And you can own the Gypsy not for $9.95, not for $7.95, not for $5.95, but only $134.38. And if you order right now, here's what we'll throw in: the electric Gypsy. It runs on AC or DC and cuts both ways. No, that's not it. Here it is, friends. Here it is right here. Wrong Gypsy. Here it is, friends. Here it is right here. I've got it here. We have so many bargains for you, I get mixed up sometimes. Here it is here it is here. What are we doing here? There it is, the electric Gypsy. That's right, friends. Holy.
Well, I think, the people that swear interestingly are usually the ones that invent their own phrases. Because I collect phrases, things like, don't drop your teeth. Don't drop your teeth is don't get excited,
Oh.
Yeah, I keep a book. I don't know what I'll do with it. My best friend and I are collecting all these different expressions.
And some of them are a little more
Yeah, well, they're colorful. They're all from different parts of the country.
But there's none of them that you can say outside of...
let's
What's the
see.
closest one you could say without getting us off the air immediately?
Oh, dear. Oh, I can't think of any, of course. My brain goes blank.
I suppose go your hat would be out. I don't know what... I'm sorry. I don't know what possessed me. I just... I'm just...
Thank you. Shut up. I've been in, this is nice, California. I've been out in here for about 3 days. If anybody see me walking around, I have to explain. I had the same suit on for 3 days because I like this suit. I bought it from the catalog, and I enjoy it. You ever see those guys modeling clothes in catalog? Ever see those guys doing the same thing in their suit? Every time I put on the suit, I got to go like this. I was just outside, standing in the front going. You know? Anybody ever see those guys that model their underwear in these books? And they smile while they're doing it, they stand out there going. Did you notice these guys never have no bulge? Did you ever check that out? And they're standing there in front of millions of people, smiling. First of all, if I didn't have no bulge, I would not be modeling no underwear. Okay? And second of all, I damn sure wouldn't be smiling. I might be modeling like this.
Okay, ready? Just one hand. 100 people surveyed. Top 5 answers on the board. Here's the question. Name something you'd find on a farm. Yes, name something you'd find on a farm.
Well...
Is there a well? There's a well! You got it. The number one answer, Ron.
You have a pretty smile. You have pretty teeth.
Thank you.
Yeah, very nice.
You know, tell me if you noticed this. It would be kind of easier to talk without my teeth.
What are you talking about? Let me see those now. Give me a little smile. They're really growing, aren't they?
Yeah.
So you wear this when you do?
TV shows, yes.
Well, at least you're honest. Now, most women I know would not do that. They wouldn't like anybody to know that secret, that you were wearing a little clip in there. But you won't have to wear that much longer, will you?
Flipper.
Yeah, that's just so your teeth kind of line up and...
Yeah, but they kill.
Yeah? Doesn't it feel very good?
No, they don't.
You want to keep it out then? We'll just talk without it?
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
I wish my mom
Just
would.
clip it. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles and by posing, end them. To die. To sleep no more. And if you can't sleep no more, take Somanex tonight and sleep. Safe and restful, sleep, sleep, sleep. And by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the 1,000 natural shocks that flesh is heir to. And if you're having trouble with your shocks, get them checked at your local AMCO transmission center. AMCO, AA, MCO. Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, or perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub.
mentally. Deep heating rub. There's no beating, deep heating. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come when we have shuffled off this mortal coil must give us pause. And as we pause for a moment, let me ask you, are you suffering the slings and arrows of painful hemorrhoidal itching? Then try this. It worked for me. It can work for you. Or my name isn't Hamlet. Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio, a fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. But when he travels, nobody knows him. That's why he carries this, the American Express card. Don't leave Denmark without it. This is a kinkajou?
Yeah.
Where are they from?
Kinkajou. It's from the, from the tropics. This is a night.
Obviously, the smell of olives attract them. Not on this new coat. He does anything on this new coat, it's just going to be a dead kinkajou.
Sure. You might take a bite of that. He likes to watch.
Right, there you are.
If you eat it, he'll take it and then go with it. Yeah.
Right. Oh.
Anyway,
they're not dangerous, are they?
Well, they have very sharp teeth. And
no, the question, Jim, was, are they dangerous with their sharp teeth?
No, I don't. I think as long as he's on that banana, he's all right. But don't pick him up. I'll pick him up if the time. You can just let him have that, and he'll take care of it. But it's
these are from the. Do I have to peel it for him?
No, he'll do a pretty good job of that.
Yes, he is. Right down to the fingers there. Okay.
You may want to put this. He does the...
All over my very expensive... Why don't you take this animal, Jim?
Sure. Hey, kinkajou, come on now.
New first time worn on the show. And you bring out a sloppy kinkajou.
Come on.
Get that dust. I don't have any more.
You know, Miss Kitty, we've known each other here at the Long Branch for a heck of a long time, and, well, I guess it's no secret that I'm really sweet on you. How come we never go upstairs?
I've been meaning to confess something to you, Marshall.
Well, what's that, Kitty, darling?
Not Kitty. Jim Thompson. Thompson. Undercover Pinkerton. I'll bet you're glad we didn't go upstairs now, eh, Matt?
No, Kitty, because I got a surprise for you. Just a demo. This is a demonstration, kid.
Yeah, this is a demonstration. We're going to start out. I have different foods. Here's ice cubes. Ed Sullivan, it's labeled. You'll see how that works. All right.
So you actually are what you eat then, in a way, huh?
For only a few seconds.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, right. I don't think you want to be these guys forever.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Let's start out with Clark Gable. I mean, he's a favorite. Clark Gable, you take a lemon. And, of course, you'll get this in the kit. It'll be freeze-dried. You let it defrost for 1 day. I've chosen a fresh lemon because it's a prototype. This is a little green, so it's going to be bitter.
Right.
That's for Gable in his 30s, when he was 30 to 35. Older Gable, older lemon.
Of course.
Okay? Watch now carefully. All right.
Frankly, Scarlett, I don't give a damn. Frankly, Johnny, I don't care if the whole city burns.
It's the lemons.
Just the lemon.
Just hangs on just for...
That's right. Now, I haven't come up with what to wash your mouth out with. I figured Lavoris is in the business, they ought to figure it out. All right, now, this is a favorite of mine. I love this one. Burt Lancaster. Such a great, great star, and an impression that always works, and previous till now, hard to do.
A hot
potato.
Good heavens.
Burt Lancaster, you take as hot as you can stand it.
Steam, come on.
All right, Johnny.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
Okay, you're
All right.
cutting a small portion
That's
of
right,
this very hot
a small portion
potato.
of that. I'm going to cut it into 4 pieces, Johnny.
Right.
Well, all right, just in the mouth. Go.
I can see that's
all right.
Absolutely true.
Now it says something else here on the thing. It says Burt Lancaster, and in the same potato package it says Curly. Curly's a little easier. If you want your
Curly of the
perfect
three.
Burt Lancaster, yes. You need a little bit of pepper, and pepper's good for everyone. It says Brando, Sullivan, et al. It has them all here. All right. Curly is you take a little bit of pepper. A little bit of pepper. You know Curly, the great Three Stooge. Hard to do, not now. Take a pepper. Put it like that. Okay, now. You begin to make a child's train noise. Woo! Woo! In with a potato. Woo!
Turner and Hooch.
Turner and Hooch.
What's the rudest thing you can do to a girl in a church?
Honey, I left our traveler's checks on top of my locker.
Oh, no.
No problem. Oh, honey, this is Mr. Ito.
Please, don't get up.
Citizen Corp office right next door. But these weren't Citizens Corp traveler's checks.
Oh, so sorry that I can't help you.
What will we do?
What will they do?
Lawrence Welk comes from, I believe, South Dakota, back in the Midwest, where I grew up. And a lot of people don't know this about Lawrence, but his personality was formed in his very early years. I think it was one day in the 2nd grade, little Lawrence had to leave the room. And the teacher said, "Why?" And Lawrence says, "I have to do a 1 and a 2. Very first time.
I got called by somebody who saw a promo for something I was supposed to do, and I said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Why?" He said, "It says you're going to be on television talking with this doctor about impotence."
Mm-hmm.
I said, "Gee, I'm not going to be on, I'm not going to, what is," I wasn't even sure really what, this may sound naive, and I guess it is naive. I wasn't sure if impotence meant that you couldn't get or did it mean you could get, but you couldn't have, I wasn't sure, anyway, that's what was censored.
I think your first...
That's right.
Yeah.
So I went on the show
It's
and
right.
asked that, and the doctor said, no, it means that you couldn't get a... Anyway, it'll be all right.
This is called fill in the blanks.
That was censored. This wasn't censored, what he said.
Uh-huh.
He said that there was a theory for people who were impotent and didn't know whether it was physical or psychological, and this is what you were supposed to do, and this is serious.
Mm-hmm.
As a test, every man or a man who is not impotent in the course of a night's sleep will have at least 3. And if you wanted to check whether this impotence was based on... am I fired?
No.
All right. If you wanted to check whether this was based on physical or psychological reasons, what you do is you take a couple of, this is all medical stuff we're
Yes.
doing. This is what the doctor said. You can
Right.
take a couple of, or however many you might need, postage stamps when you go to sleep. And in the morning, when you wake up, if those stamps are
canceled,
then you will know that that your problem is not physical. Your problem is psychological. He didn't say if it was psychological, then what you should do. Maybe you could mail it.
I think I follow what you're saying. And if the stamps were...
If the stamps were broken, you were, it was a psychological problem.
I see.
That went out. That was okay. But the question on whether impotence, what impotence meant was censored.
I don't understand that at all. That seems like a fairly normal...
I think it's because I'm not a doctor and he is that you couldn't say that.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we'll cut that out of our show. Will we, Fred? Fred, you want to put the stamps away and talk to me a second? You're not supposed to put them on this early in the evening. If you just wait till you go to bed tonight.
No, I do. I come from an ethnic heritage. I come from a mixed marriage, which means my mother is Jewish and my father is Catholic. That is the truth. I was raised Catholic formally, although I must say the Jewish mind comes out even in the Catholic system. Give you an example, we used to go into confession, and I would bring a lawyer in with me. Bless me, Father, for I have sinned. I think you know Mr. Cohen. But I kid religion, but I go back to the church often. I find it very comforting. And, you know this, they're modernizing some of the things. Amazing. For instance, when you go back now, I don't know if you know this, but when they serve the wafer in communion, they also have a salad bar.
The answer to the question is Yahoo Serious.
Yahoo Serious.
What are the two stages of sex?
Have you earned much income from your books?
I've made billions and billions in my books, yes.
Reports from Voyager 1 indicates that on Saturn,
Yes.
the winds are over 900 miles an hour. Will that pose a danger for our astronauts?
Definitely, they'll need much more hairspray than originally expected. Tremendous solar winds up there in the interstellar stuff.
Perhaps you can define some terms.
Yes.
Now, how do we get the term UFO?
Actually, during World War II, the fighter pilot saw this immense ball of fire right in his path, and the pilot yelled, UFO!
The title of it is Bo. That's the name of the dog. He never came to me when I would call unless I had a tennis ball, or he felt like it. But mostly he didn't come at all. When he was young, he never learned to heel or sit or stay. He did things his way. Discipline was not his bag, but when you were with him, things sure didn't drag. He'd dig up a rose bush just to spite me, and when I'd grab him, he'd turn and bite me. He bit lots of folks from day to day. The delivery boy was his favorite prey. The gas man wouldn't read our meter. He said we owned a real man-eater. He set the house on fire, but the story's long to tell. Suffice to say that he survived and the house survived as well. And on evening walks, and Gloria took him, he was always first out the door. The old one and I brought up the rear because our bones were sore. And he'd charge up the street with Mom hanging on. What a beautiful pair they were. And if it was still late and the tourists were out, they created a bit of a stir. But every once in a while, he'd stop in his tracks and with a frown on his face, look around. It was just to make sure that the old one was there to follow him where he was bound. We're early to bedders in our house. I guess I'm the first to retire. And as I'd leave the room, he'd look at me and get up from his place by the fire. He knew where the tennis balls were upstairs, and I'd give him one for a while, and he'd push it under the bed with his nose, and I'd dig it out with a smile. But before very long, he'd tire the ball, and he'd be asleep in his corner in no time at all. And there were nights when I'd feel him climb upon our bed and lie between us, and I'd pat his head. And there were nights when I'd feel this stare, and I'd wake up and he'd be sitting there, and I'd reach out to stroke his hair, and sometimes I'd feel him sigh, and I think I know the reason why. He'd wake up at night and he would have this fear of the dark, of life, of lots of things, and he'd be glad to have me near. And now he's dead. And there are nights when I think I feel him climb upon her bed and lie between us, and I pat his head. And there are nights when I think I feel that stare, and I reach out my hand to stroke his hair, and he's not there. Oh, how I wish that wasn't so. I'll always love a dog named Bo.